we practice math, we practice piano, we practice cooking, but many of us don't practice hard. Had I not practiced hard my whole life, even if it was self-imposed, the cold shower, the burpees, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have started to learn. We all start to learn, unlike the folks that broke down at your false finish. We start to learn that this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't kill me. It sucked. I hated it, but it didn't kill me. And that's why older people generally have more endurance than younger people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I practiced hard. I started to understand that saying, this too shall pass. What I was not ready for was that it was a long, drawn out 500 false finishes, go to bed every night, not know if we're going to be in business tomorrow. Like, I didn't, it's easy to deal with pain if it's like, all right, we know the beginning, we know the end, right? Like,
take the
but
hit.
If it just drags on and it never ends and you literally, and so I'm on the very tail end of it still right now, but I'm definitely seeing sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely seeing sunlight. I can easily see there's very few companies. I believe 95% of companies that start fail. 95% fail. And I would imagine going through what I just went through, most of them fail because it's easy to tap out.
Yeah.
It would have made perfect sense. No one would have laughed at me. I could have easily justified going bankrupt and not paying any of the bills because we were an event company and we got shut down. It wasn't our fault. I could pass the blame on somebody else.
External.
Yeah. But I didn't. When I think about Hearst, by the way, Hearst is a 100-year-old media company, or any of the companies that are, 100 plus years old. There was somebody in there that just wouldn't stop. And you can't tell me that every one of these companies, even the guys here that I described earlier, they don't know 25 minutes, you can't tell me they don't all go through rough time. Like, when you're talking about 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 years, every company goes through incredibly turbulent times. And that owner, that founder, that CEO, like, by the way, if I was a hired CEO, if I wasn't the founder, easy to tap out.
Different. Yeah. There's
right?
not as much skin in the game.
No reputational risk. Just like, what am I really doing this for? The other thing, when I think about quitting, because I think about this a lot, when I think about quitting in life in general, I've come to the conclusion that it's okay to quit. But the magic, the question, the difficult part is, when is it your brain, your soft, lazy brain we described earlier,
Mm-hmm.
just wanting to take the easy way? And when is it appropriate to quit because there's potentially a fatal outcome? So the example would be, we're climbing Mount Everest, you and I, and we're 100 meters from summiting. And I want to be the greatest family man that ever lived. That's my goal. That's my purpose in life. That's my why. And you want to be the greatest mountain climber that ever lived. And you are one summit away from setting the world record. You have no kids. You're young. This is all you live for. You're writing a book on it. Mm-hmm. You eat, drink, and sleep, setting this damn world record. You're Alex Honnold, right? And we're 100 meters from the summit, and bad weather rolls in. And all the Sherpas say to us, got to turn around. Well, I probably quit because my why, my purpose is my family.
You're wise.
I just had 2 children, right?
Yeah.
You probably don't. You probably go for it.
Yeah, the risk.
You got a right. You got a different why. You got a different purpose. And so now the problem is, you and I are both tired. We're both out of oxygen, and both our brains are fried. And what's seeping into both our brains is quit. It'll be easier. It's too dangerous. Go down. You can get a hamburger when you get down. There's music playing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, But if you could pull out an index card at that moment and just take a look at the why that you wrote when you were at base camp, and the one that I wrote, mine clearly states turn around. Yours says go for it.
Yeah. That happens.
Right?
Yeah, and that's happening every day of our lives in different ways.
Every day.
So
every day.
We should unpack that a little bit. Joe, what year did you start Spartan? What did your why look like then compared to what your why looks like now?
I did a great podcast yesterday that really brought that into clarity, which was, what am I great at? What are you great at? Well, I'm really great at getting people to do things they don't want to do. I'm great at it. My dad was great at it. My friends would come over my house when I was a kid, and somehow, we wanted to watch a movie, and somehow we started putting up sheetrock, and we're painting and we're sweeping. Like, that was not the plan. Somehow my dad had Mr. Miyagi'd us into, right? So I picked up that gene. I'm really good at getting people to do things they don't want to do. Number two, what am I really, really passionate about? I just love being outside. I love mountains. I love, hiking. I love getting dirty. I love being exhausted. And then three, what are my values? I love changing lives. I love hearing people say to me, I'm back with my husband. I'm back with my wife. I stopped drinking. I lost 200 pounds. Nothing makes me happier. That is compensation for me to hear those things, right?
Yeah.
So when I started Spartan, I obviously knew all that stuff existed, what I just described, but I didn't lay it out on a piece of paper and say, I'm starting this because I'm really good at changing people and getting them to do things they don't want to do. I'm really passionate about being, outside and doing hard things. And here are I didn't lay that out. I just said, man, if I could build a business where I get to do stuff I like to do selfishly, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit at a desk typing emails, being on Bloomberg, getting yelled at by clients that their lunch didn't come on time that I was supposed to get delivered to. Like, I want to do this cool shit as a business. And then as I started getting the feedback from the customers, and I started realizing how it made me feel to hear that I impacted their life positively somehow by laying out barbed wire and rope climbs. Like, I was like, this is why we're doing this. This is what we're doing. And we're gonna put a crazy goal out there. We're gonna do everything we can to change 100 million lives. I don't know why it's 100 million, but we're gonna, it's possible we could change 100 million lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're gonna do. And you say it enough and you start believing it, and it becomes part of your DNA. And so when you're going through what I went through, what I described to you, and the wheels are falling off the bus, and I really when you get to a place, the last 3 years, when you get to a place where you just want to go to sleep, for me, like some people, I guess they drink, some people eat. I found myself wanting to go to sleep because that was easier than being awake. And that's so far from my personality, right? Like, I just wanted to go to bed. Like, there was so much stress.
Just shut it down.
So many vendors that needed to be paid, so much shit. And, but then I remember we're going to change 100 million lives. Don't forget the why. We're going to change 100 million lives.